What's up, guys? This is Void of Dust Gaming, your channel for fresh Arena of Valor content. And even if I run the risk on being repetitive, I got another game that totally shows that Arena of Valor is a team game and you can do whatever you want and you can put whatever effort you are going to put into a game. Sometimes it's not enough. I'm talking about the latest game that I've been playing with Lauriel in a ranked match. That was super recent. I've been playing the game yesterday. Of course, you guys are going to see the game in a couple of days because I am pre-producing a lot of things. So it might be a little bit older at the time that you are going to see the video. But it was horrific. It was really, really strange. We had the game in our hands and we basically dropped it, and that's something that I want to talk about in English as well, because there has been a video with Arduin in German, and I know that a lot of players and my viewers are not, of course, German speaking people, and therefore I just wanted to take the chance and show you how you can improve your gameplay in terms of the team effort, and this is going to be the main issue of today's video. So how can you support your team in order to make clever plays and turn the outcome into a victory, because that was something that we didn't achieve in today's gameplay. So first of all, just a quick run through the build that I've been using on Lauriel so that you guys know what I was fielding. Equipment wise, as you can see, we're going on full damage. There has been a time when Lauriel players were using Aegises and things like that. This is not true anymore. As you can see, we're building full damage with some sorts of utility, for example in the terms of the Tome of the Reaper to reduce healing aspects in the enemy team, and of course we're going with something like the Evil Secrets to get some magic penetration, but basically the build is focusing around damage because we want to have the maximum damage possible, and this is going to continue in my Arcana setup as well. So I'm using my mage damage build. This consists of 10 times Violate for some ability power and magic penetration. We're using Devour for ability power and 10% of lifesteal on every single spell that we're going to dish out, and this is going to be a lot in our ultimate phase. And last but not least is Hex for some cooldown reduction, which is even better when we are in ult, but if we don't have that ready because we are not level 4, I just want to have that 7% plus the extra ability power coming from Hex to round up my build. In terms of enchantments, I'm using Devil's Awakening because it's going to reduce the cooldown on our spells when we are going to ultimate things, and the rest of the build is basically plain utility. We've got Devour in here, we've got Mark of the Frost in here, as well as Gunslinger to boost our stats a little bit further, and the last part is Deadly Claw to get some more needed ability power, especially in the early stages of the game. So this is going to be the build. Be prepared for some really short upcoming gameplay. If you are not a subscriber to this channel, consider to subscribe because it doesn't cost you a penny and you're going to get a lot of benefits in terms of new videos that are being released every 2 days here on this channel. So there is a constant content stream that you guys can take and watch and do whatever you want with it. Watch my videos while eating, after you have been in a busy day at school or university, or even after you've been at work, to calm down and things like that. So I hope this is going to support you, and if you like this kind of content, a thumbs up is highly appreciated because it helps me to grow my channel. These are the numbers that YouTube wants to see, so if you have fingers and you can click on the thumbs up button, that would help me a lot. So yes, now gameplay. Enough of all that speeches, so let's get to the real part of this video when we are going to shred enemies as Lauriel, as you guys are going to see in a couple of seconds. So enjoy. So here we go, and as I already said, this is a rank match, and you did not see this, but I can tell you that all the other players are platinum players as well. I don't know anything about their progress in the past. I don't know how far they went in the elo system, but this is a ranked match, and I assume that most of the enemy players are based in those ranks as well. So we've got a pretty balanced and decent team composition. We've got Violet and Alice on the duo lane. I would say nothing spectacular here, but both in combination can be quite deadly, especially if Alice is able to hit her spells and she's got ultimate ready to just deny a certain area of the battlefield. That can be actually quite good for Violet to bring her spells into action. We've got me versus Ignis here in the middle, and you guys are going to see that I will have the upper hand in the upcoming minutes of this gameplay. We are putting so much damage in him, and he has not been able to retaliate properly, so I think that was a good start. We've got a Quickneck in the jungle, for whom I made a video in the last couple of days. You will find that in my video section here on the channel if you're interested in how I play my Quickneck. He is a decent jungler, of course not the best jungler in the current meta. He is below the tier of the top meta picks, but still he is able to one-shot enemies with a single combo. As you can see, first blood here on Malok, that was really nice. But he's a glass cannon, so you should be aware of that fact that this champion is not there for being super tanky. So basically, whenever you enter a fight as Quickneck, you should make sure that you know that you can bring down an enemy, because otherwise you are not really being that helpful for your team. But that's something we are going to see during the next videos of this gameplay. On the solo lane, we've got Arthur, which I think is still a really solid choice. Not even a decent one, but solid, because he brings a lot to the battlefield. He is quite mobile. He can be played as a tank while still being able to dish out tremendous amounts of damage, especially the mobility on Arthur is great. So I think he's a really well-rounded champion, with not having some sort of weakness, but of course he's not really excelling in one of those things. He's basically good. He's basically good, but not superior in a certain department. And as you can see, I had a great time on shredding enemies here in my ultimate. 2-0 right now. And looking at the enemies, we've got Elaine versus Arthur, so that's going to be a pretty crazy matchup, because the outcome basically depends on what the player has in terms of skill. I think that Arthur can have a good time playing against Elaine, but it really depends on how good the Elaine is and how well he knows how to use his passive, and how many stacks he needs on his swords when he unleashes them. The enemy doesn't really have a true jungler, so the jungle talent has not been picked for the enemies, which means that our Quickneck should basically have an easy time on just farming or invading the enemy jungle. And then we've got Ignis, which I think is basically on par with me. He's not dealing that much damage. He's more some sorts of utility mage, at least in my opinion. But you can have a good time with him if you have a team that is able to be in the front line, for example with Malok, and you're just throwing out spells from the rear, and this is going to be actually quite good if you can make it work. And then mostly interesting is that the enemy has Valheim and Caphany, so they've got 2 AD carries, which is usually not really the best team composition, because as I said, they could have a real jungler, and I would think that that would be a little bit better for the enemy team. But if they can make the damage work over the time to really suppress us by having Malok going up early against us, and then just having the AD carries and Ignis following up everything, I think it still would be quite good if they can kind of make it work. So I think that was a big mistake of Elaine following me up in my ult, and as you can see now he has to retreat. Unfortunately we're not getting him, but the double kill has already been scored, and yeah, the triple kill is here. It has not been indicated by the game, but that was a pure triple kill because Elaine was just a little bit too offensive here, and that just put us in the position to be in 6-0 in the first 6 minutes, and I think that was really well played. I don't really know what I could have done better. If you guys have any idea on how I could change the tides of the battle in this position, put it down in the comments below. I was so excited that I even put a point in my first ability instead of my ultimate, so I would now I need to have I need to wait for another level to come to upgrade my ultimate. But I think at this very point of the game we had everything under control. First Abyssal Dragon was secured by our team as well, so everything is looking fine. But as you can see, and this is I think something that is the main determinant for the game, we are split up everywhere. There isn't a clear communication. No one is really using any of the pings in order to tell the team what the individual is about to do. I do make my calls in terms of someone's missing, I'm going to roam down to your place and stuff like that, but the rest of the team is basically not communicating at all, so no one really knows what they are doing. And I think that is going to be the major drawback, because sometimes it just happens, kind of more sorts of a thing in the process. I was jumping in the wrong direction here, because otherwise I would have been able to put even more shots into Ignis, and he might already have been dead by now. Didn't turn out the way I wanted it to, but as you can see, the enemies are actually doing a good job on split pushing and getting towers, because they have already whittled down the tower on the top and on the solo lane, and we have been getting 2 towers in that process as well. So tower wise we are basically equal. I think that the middle tower is a little bit more important, and we have just been able to get the second tower here. Violet is now doing something on the top lane tower, and I think with the next minion wave she is about to get that tower. But sometimes it is a question of choice. What are you going to do with your resources? How are you going to play them? And I think that is more sorts of the question that is going to determine the outcome of the game. It's all about getting towers and about getting the resources, and we are going to come to a point in that match where you guys can actually see wrong decisions have been made, and sometimes these decisions are basically completely determining the outcome of the game. So here's another kill for us. Okay, I jumped completely in the wrong direction, so 11 kills and 1 death is now our score. I think I should have just tried to get back, because now Arthur is under siege. He is not going to make it out. He's going to make it out alive. Good Alice here. She'd done a really good job on getting that Valheim, and Violet is about to get the last tower. In the meantime, that is going to field up to the core. But as you can see, the enemies are pushing down the solo lane or the top lane quite heavily, and they are basically at our doorstep. So despite the fact that we are basically completely dominating the game in terms of the team fights and the overall kills, they still managed to get us down to 1 tower, and now it is crucial that we use this kind of information to not only push but secure the overall outcome in terms of getting into the last bit of the game. We've got Darkslayer here, which is also quite nice, so the push is there, and we basically just need this one very last push in order to win the game, seal the deal after 10 minutes played. We've got the upper hand here. This guy is about to close in. I've used my ult a little bit too early, I guess, because now we're having a harder time on getting the enemies, and we are starting to lose this team fight because we have been playing around the core, and Malok is still alive, and he's going to just be quite annoying, and we can't kill them. That's the most important thing. We've spent a lot of resources in order to get to this point, but the problem is that we can't finish because the enemies are actually quite healthy, and on the other hand, we are just really, really low. So as you can see, I've just have one health part that is left, and now the enemy is going to react and counter us. And as you can see, 2 guys of our team are already down. I think Violet is able to get away if she is not changing her mind and going into the fight against those 2 AD carries and Ignis, because that's going to be deadly for Violet, especially with her life being that low, as she's not full life. And now it's our time to defend that tower, and yeah, that was painful. That was painful. They kind of dedicated everything into this one single approach. I don't know what Crickneck is doing right now. I think that was the complete wrong call to go in to get some towers. We should rather be defending our base right now, because as you can see, we had some casualties here in the meantime. And I think that was the turning point of the game, where we were actually starting to lose that battle. And this is completely bonkers. Why would you start a team fight with one of the worst supports out there in the game if you are not on the winning side and you're not in the terms of winning the team fight? Alice is a good support hero if you are on the push and you are able to make that push work. So she's basically enhancing your capabilities, but if your capabilities are just Arthur, there's no means on doing so. So Infinite Slayer has now been killed. There has been scored a bloodbath by Valheim, and I think now we've made the complete wrong decision. We started to fight this dragon, and now Arthur is closing in to try to defend that tower. And what I should have done right now immediately would be to go back and start to defend our base and get all the guys with me. So as you can see right now, I'm going in. I see that there's a lot of trouble awaiting, and they just sealed the deal. They won the game, and I think the Abyssal Dragon choice basically just broke our neck here. And my team wasn't even paying attention to this. Like, I was the only person teleporting back, and I think this was basically the point where everyone else should have paid attention to the minimap. We saw that things were coming. We should have just abolished the whole thing of getting Abyssal Dragon and focused on defending everything. And as you can see, my score was really, really good. So I was doing really, really great here. A lot of damage, like best in damage. Fight participation was the best as well, but it is not enough. The last Abyssal Dragon call was completely wrong, and it cost us the game, and this is the outcome. We have been defeated with 25-18, and I think it's well deserved. So don't make that mistake. Pay a lot of attention and things to the minimap, because it's going actually to tell you what you should do next. And yeah, that's the verdict. I hope you guys are doing better than I did, because that was really, 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 really annoying. I was really, 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 really pissed off after this fight, especially because some of my team members did not even pay attention to anything happening on the map. And in Platinum, you should be capable of doing so. And yeah, that's that. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Stay safe, stay well, and see you soon here.